Hello, everyone. Welcome to Crypto Miners Twitter space. My name is Mary, and I will be your host, but not only me. Today, I have a co-host again. Maurice from Caesars is here. Hi, Maurice.
Hey,
Happy to have you
what's going
again.
on? Happy afternoon. How's everything going today?
It's good. We have shitty weather. It's rain, snowing, and
We got
it's
the
really
same here.
windy and it's crap.
I guess we
I'm
got the
glad to
same
be
right now in
indoors.
Canada and Europe.
Yeah, we have the same old northern hemisphere, maybe. Who knows? Anyway, today we have a team here from a really interesting coin, and the team is called Tsuka.
Yeah, I can't wait
Tsuka.
to introduce them to the community here at Miners. Again, I'm sure some people have heard about this one. I've been definitely making some noise in the space since they launched back in May of last year. In terms of the dynamic on this one, it's kind of cool because it's one of the few projects that, technically doesn't really have a team, and it's very community driven in that sense. So it should be a good discussion. Again, I love chatting with these guys.
That's cool.
It's always very informational, super conversational style. So again, I know for you and myself, Mary, the way that kind of we run these, it will be a lot of fun. And it should be really
You
easy
hosted them already, Maurice, right?
yeah, this is the fourth time that I'm getting to share the stage with this awesome
Oh.
community, and we have them again on Thursday night. I'm bringing them back to another space that I kind of jump in once a week. So again, really excited. They have a pretty incredible giveaway that's entirely community funded that's going on right now. So again, they're just really trying to build up the awareness for that and just spread the message of what is Tsuka. So yeah, it should be pretty cool. I think, Dustin in there should be one of the speakers. So you should be able to throw Dustin the mic. I think Uncle Nut is jumping in as well, so let me just find him.
Crypto Nut?
Yeah, that would be
already up
him
here.
as well. Awesome.
All right. Hello,
And
team
then I
from Tsuka,
think
Dustin and Crypto Nut.
Hey guys, how are you doing?
Is CP gonna jump on with you guys today, Nut?
Hello, Mary. Hello,
How
Morris.
many are you today?
I think there's two of us for now.
We
There's
can
two of us
try
for
and
now.
ransom.
Okay, I wasn't sure if
ransom
CP was gonna
CP.
jump on. Yeah, no, throw him the mic and say
Paddy's here.
on.
Paddy's here. Paddy's
Awesome.
just joined.
Okay,
He needs
bring
to
Paddy
Awesome.
up.
Yeah, Paddy's
he needs to
back.
ask for the mic.
Muting Paddy. Welcome up, Paddy. So we have Dustin, Paddy, and Crypto Nut.
Absolutely.
From the Tsuka team. Well,
from the
very
Tsuka community.
Tsuka community. Yeah, no team.
That's right.
Only
We're
community.
I even
We're
read my
representing the
post back,
community.
I even read my post back yesterday, and I was like, I said the word team like twice too many times on that yesterday. So I was even looking at what I put up yesterday, and I was like, yeah, I need to go back, and I edited the wording to community versus team, because I was like, there's too many teams in that one.
So maybe we should call you dragons.
We're the dragon community, the fire breathers.
Yeah.
Let's just call us the fire breathers.
The fire breathers.
That's a good one. I like that.
We're riding the dragon's back.
I need
That's
some
what we're
hot
doing.
today. It's very cold.
The dragon riders.
So yeah, get some fire up on stage here. So before we start, also a reminder that anything we talk about in here is for educational purpose only, and we don't give financial advice whatsoever in here. So do your own research, guys. This is an informative, educational talk we have with the dragon fire breathers from Tsuka.
Dragon?
And Maurice.
Dragon Slayers.
From Caesar's Call.
Ooh, Dragon Slayers. Okay, we got some new ones coming in here. I like it.
No, we don't want to slay the dragon. We ride the dragon. The dragon's our ally. They're our allies. Come on.
Yeah, we're like, it's like Game of Thrones. We got to keep them alive. We got to protect them.
Don't kill each other here right now, okay?
Awesome. So let us know.
Happy to have you guys. And
yeah.
Thank you. Thank you for having us, Mary. It's awesome to be here. And thanks, Morris, as well.
Yeah, no, always great to chat with you guys. Again, I've had the chance to, share the stage with you a few times. I'd love to have kind of Mary, take over, introduce, crypto miners a little bit to everybody at Tsuka, and then obviously throw the mic maybe to Tsuka and just have you guys jump in. I mean, I think everybody in the Tsuka community and crypto miners is, had the chance to hear from me enough probably. So I'd love to have Mary take over and start and introduce, miners here in the awesome community that her, Alpha, and his partner Wolverine have been building up here over the last year plus. And obviously then we'll jump right into Tsuka and, everything amazing that you guys are doing. I mean, we'll touch on that giveaway you guys have going on, which again, I definitely think community doesn't want to miss that. We're going to be putting a hard push on the giveaway, as it approaches towards, this Saturday, the 21st, when it closes. So if that works in terms of timing, Mary, I'll probably jump on mute for a while if you want to take over, intro, Tsuka to crypto miners, and then, vice versa.
Sure. I think you did an excellent introduction of miners there already, Maurice. That's great. So we're just a community here, and we are growing. I think we're growing every day. With every AMA, we're growing more. So I hope some of the dragons will stick around too, to come more often and listen to our presentations of different projects. But let's start with you now, guys. I'm very interested and curious to hear more about the dragons, and also about you. You three guys up here now: Dustin, Cryptonut, and Paddy Stash. How long have you been with Tsuka, and what are you doing on there? Because you're not in a team. There is no team of Tsuka, right? How does it run?
Was that for me?
Oh, for all of you. Yeah, you can
okay.
fight about it.
Well, okay, I guess I'll give a little 2-second spiel because sometimes I get carried away with talking, but I didn't discover Tsuka until the beginning of July. And, just to kind of give you a little background about myself, I got into the stock market in the late 90s. I guess I'm like a dinosaur for crypto. I'm 41, but it's like I feel like I'm twice the age of everybody in here. But I come from an investment background. I was a stock trader for many years. I was an analyst at a hedge fund. I really got big into penny stocks because of the thrill, the chase. And, if you're able to kind of figure out the different, checklists for what makes a particular stock or what makes a particular cryptocurrency interesting, it changes the whole dynamic, because instead of following the crowd and kind of doing what everybody else is doing, which seems like, what 90% of crypto does, you'll have somebody say, hey, tweet your favorite, altcoin, and then like everybody starts talking about, all these random altcoins, and the more chatter you see about a particular token, the more popular it becomes, just because it's talked about. So, instead of going that route, I've always gone the opposite route. I say I'm like a lone wolf, where I do the research myself, and I do a lot of research. I don't think people really understand how many hours I actually do researching different tokens. So, that's how I came across Tsuka. Actually, somebody brought it to my attention. And so when they brought it to my attention, I immediately, went through my little checklist. I look at the chart, I look at the history, I look at the token distribution. And this was a situation where my jaw dropped. And what I mean by this is, I've been in the market for about 6 years, crypto, that is. And there's a lot of people that have known me for that duration of 6 years. And they know how I am. I'm very, set in my ways. I'm very redundant with things. I always say that I like to trade the same tokens over and over, through each market cycle, because if you understand the cyclical nature of how those tokens, operate, it's just a matter of timing where, you let it go up, sell out, and then it just drops back down, buy it back, be patient, wait. And it's just like a process like that. But the difference with Tsuka. Are you
giving financial advice now, Paddy?
No, I never get financial advice. I just ramble. But what struck my attention with Tsuka was the price was already up a ton before I bought it, but I literally stopped everything I was doing to FOMO into Tsuka. And it's like, I don't FOMO into anything. You know, I've been in the crypto market for years and years and years, and I will never FOMO because, you know, I said on the previous spaces, haste makes waste. So it's like you could, you know, buy and sell 5 different altcoins and have success. And then all of a sudden you FOMO into one and then it's a disaster. You get rugged. So every one of those trades that you made that was successful, you lose all your money. So it's like, what's the point? So with Tsuka, I'm going, wait a minute, this token's already up a ton, but it's still a ridiculous low market cap for what I believe it's capable of doing. And when I saw it, I basically said, this is the next SHIB. And, you know, I can get into why I believe it's going to be the next SHIB in a little bit, but there are so many coincidences that line up that it's just, it can't be a coincidence. There's too many things. So, you know, long story long, on July 3rd, when I bought in, it was at a half a penny. And I was telling people, everybody, you know, I'm stopping what I'm doing because this token to me is the biggest outlier freak I've ever seen. And the crazy thing is most people don't get why. They just see it as a meme coin. But there's so much depth to this token that gives it value in so many different ways. And a lot of it has to do with the story of Ryoshi, the guy that created SHIB, that turned a token from, you know, a $50,000 market cap to $50 billion in, you know, 8 months. He is supposedly behind Tsuka, and nobody can disprove that he's not. So the way I always look at the market, I do it from a like a philosophy, a market, you know, a market psychology element. And so everyone that has tried to determine who is actually the developer has failed. And people have even said that it's me. And it's like, if you knew how technically, you know, like how terrible I am with that, you would realize it's not me. So it's got this incredible story with the guy that basically turned a token from this nothing to the biggest, second biggest meme coin of all time in a short period of time. And supposedly he's behind Tsuka. Nobody could disprove that he's not. But more important, it's got this math behind it with the token distribution. It's so evenly distributed, and the distribution is 100% fully diluted. So it's 1 billion in the supply. So everybody that owns Tsuka paid for it. That's the difference between us and pretty much every other token in the market. Because when other tokens come out, they have teams. And when they have teams, they allocate tokens to themselves. You know, they're going to have to raise capital down the road, so they have more tokens that they allocate. So it's like they have given themselves half of the supply. So at some point, half of the supply that was given to the team will be sold into the market. Tsuka doesn't have that. So there's so many different elements that make Tsuka unique compared to all these other tokens. And so many people just don't get it because we go through the same procedures with everything. It's like, you know, I've mentioned this before. They tell you, go to school, get good grades. If you get good grades, you get a good job. But it's like the reality is that's such BS. There's so many people that go to school, they pay so much money, they get in debt, they can't get a job. Then they have thousands and hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt. They've got no job, no money. And it's like, what do you do then? And so what I'm saying is, I'm looking at all the wealthiest people in the world. What are they doing? They're all entrepreneurs that pretty much built their own businesses. Intelligent people that came up with an idea or concept and just ran with it. So it's like if everyone in the world who's the wealthiest did that route, why am I continuously going the same route everyone else is and buying a token based purely off what it does? The utility, you know, like everyone goes, oh, what's it do? Well, I could tell you my token cures cancer, but if you have a team that's greedy and wants to just sell tokens every day, that token may never move up. So that's one element that people don't really understand. So the mathematical aspect of a token is paramount, especially in crypto, because so many people trade on emotion. So when you start getting FOMO in a token and the price starts going higher and higher and higher, if you don't have that dilution element, the price will trade unlike any other token. Because when you get a price that just starts pumping, even in a bear market, teams need money. So they start dumping into the market which completely kills the momentum. Tsuka never has to deal with that. And so, you know, just a lot of things about Tsuka that makes it extremely unique, but most people just don't get it. But over the last couple of weeks, lots of people are starting to figure out what gives this token value. And I know this because people that reached out to me a couple months ago to tell me I'm an idiot. What are you buying this meme coin? Like, what happened to you, man? You used to be so good at what you do. And I'm going, hey, I don't care what you say. I think I'm still good at what I do. I'm just doing something on a different route. And it's like, go look at SHIB. Go look when I bought SHIB. You know, like I tell people this, go on my Twitter, go look at my postings from February 2021 when SHIB had 8 zeros and nobody in the market was talking about it. I was ridiculously talking about it every day. And everyone's like, why are you talking about this token? And I said, because it has the potential to be the next Doge. So what did it do? It blew Doge out of the water. And that was because it was a much smaller token that essentially did the same thing. So now Tsuka to me is the next SHIB. I sold my SHIB too early. Had I held my SHIB, I could have made over $250 million. Swear to God, but I didn't even make 1/250th of that. However, Tsuka is my redemption to SHIB. So we'll see what happens.
Thank you, Paddy. That was a short, nice introduction, but we learned a lot. So, Dustin, who are you to Tsuka, and when did you start it?
Hey,
guys.
hey, Mary.
Hey.
Yeah. So I joined the Tsuka community around, I would say mid to late June. I'm not exactly sure. I can check, obviously. And I'm a former journalist, writer. I did stints as a producer, director. I did a significant amount of branding and PR consulting, and I've been in crypto since late 2012. So I'm kind of a slightly
You have been through a lot too.
yeah, I've been through a lot too. Yeah, but I've been on and on in crypto, so it's like I haven't been like continuously in crypto, actively in the market for all those years. But I've been back and fully committed for the last 2.5 years, should I say, 2 years. And Tsuka is probably the most amazing thing I've ever found in crypto. That's saying a lot.
So, what drew you to Tsuka?
So, well,
were you there from the beginning?
Very early on, very early on. I have a good friend who has a very good, very good instinct to find interesting projects. So he mentioned Tsuka to me. He kind of gave me very basic talking points about the early thing, which is people were starting to think that it might be related to Ryoshi. There were links, and I knew quite cynically, I had seen that with how can I say? I was not a big fan, but I saw a lot of Ryoshi Labs coins. You had a ton of tokens that pretended to be linked to Ryoshi or pretended to be launched by Ryoshi, and many of them had done pretty impressive pumps and absolutely horrific dumps too, right? But anyway, I was watching this and I was thinking, man, people are really falling for this. It's moving so hard, blah blah blah. I don't like. Yeah, I'm the same as most people. I don't like the lies. I don't like manipulation and fake shit. But when you see that kind of meta launch so hard, you're on the sidelines. You kind of feel you're missing out. You say, "Oh fuck, why am I, stuck on principles and not touching these? Do I really want to be poor forever? Blah blah blah." So I have to say, I entered Tsuka believing it was probably one of those. And I thought, yeah, okay, what I see, it probably looks like like a Ryoshi Lab, a fake Ryoshi token, right? And then, I started looking seriously into what was happening. I stayed in there. I looked at the community, and I saw that it was quite unique. It had it had a very special selection of unique characters, and I got sucked in pretty much. And as more and more. Absolutely, and more evidence, started to pile up, pointing to Ryoshi being behind Tsuka, and the community itself growing in a very uncanny way, and attracting exactly the kind of people I know you need to make an incredibly successful community project. Well, I started to realize that this was the real deal. So yeah, I'm still here, and you better believe I'm going to be there for the long time.
Nice. Thank you so much.
Great.
And Crypto
Hey
Nut?
guys, I'm Uncle Nut, or just
Uncle
Nut,
Nut.
or whatever you want to call me. I don't really care. Blessed to be here. Thank you, Mary and Morris, for having us, and also fellow speakers, Dustin and Patty, and of course the community here. Well, I'm eternally grateful to be introduced to Tsuka. CP was the guy that introduced it to me. He was a member of my community and stuck his neck out and said, hey, you might want to check this out. And that's how I first got in touch with it. I started in crypto around 7 years ago. My wife tells me it's more like 8 years ago. I've been liquidated, scammed, rugged, but I've been lucky enough to have bought in at forgiving prices when I first started. So I was not punished as hard, for my mistakes that I made. I co-founded Crypto Alien Babes with Starseed, and which holds the awesome history as being the first ever Japanese style anime on the blockchain. I learned how to do fundamental analysis from my past lives in business and trading analysis TA from Heijin, who's one of the best TA guys in the biz, in my opinion. So I started off by, basically posting trading calls on TradingView, thinking, oh, great, yeah, I'm sort of getting the hang of this. Made some mistakes, but pretty much very quickly ended up being quite lucky and getting some crazy 1,000+ calls. It was probably not so much my talent, but more like the time that I was in crypto. So things like Doge, Matic, Verge, Redcoin, and the big daddy of them all, my biggest win today was AntShares, which of course is Neo. So basically, after I started publishing my calls transparently about 3 years ago, and, the community knows I put everything up there, recently, 2 weeks ago, I called BTC as, flying and going to 20K and then on its way to 35K. We're somewhat on the way there. I focus on education, teaching, and helping others to fish, with lessons I've made or more like the mistakes I've made. So basically getting to Tsuka, I wrote a report. I'm a bit like Patty. I spend hours and hours and hours, crazy amounts of hours researching a token. Usually the tokens come from the community. In this case, it was CP. So CryptoPunk had said, listen, this is an amazing token. You've got to get into it. At the time, I think it was something like 12 cents or 11 cents. And it was like, wow, this has already flown the coop. And it's like, but anyway, I started diving into it. And before too long, I was just like blown away. Patty says it a lot and I say it a lot, but it's true. It's the math. It's just the way the contract was written. It was the community. It was all these things, just like the way that this narrative of this story, allegedly Ryoshi, who's, we all know the history of SHIB, and then he comes in and creates this other, token. And I'm actually a Buddhist, a practicing Buddhist. And for me, I read, swathes of information about references to, Milarepa, and which are stories that really resonated with me. I knew the stories back to front. It was like, wow, this is the first project I've ever got involved with that really rips on every level. It's like spiritual. It's like, an amazing clean TG where you don't have like moon boys. It's just all like people trying to do good. And, so I kept digging and digging and digging. And then usually part of my due diligence before I actually publish something, if I'm really convinced about it, the last part is actually who are the biggest token holders and who's on the team. Well, the team I, understood is the community. I love that. That was like a 10 out of 10. And then it was like, okay, well, there's Sir Verlin, there's Taba. So I reached out and got in contact with Taba and got in contact with Verlin and flew to Dubai to meet the guys face to face. And, was just super impressed. I mean, I was like, you've got a guy like Taba and you want to talk about utility. And, people get this word totally messed up, if you ask me. But you've got a guy like Taba who's paid for, like everyone else, has paid for all his own tokens, probably holds like 2.7 million, something like that, 37 million tokens altogether. And here's a guy that's like out there as a believer, passionate believer, doing whatever he can, ponying up his own money to promote. And I'm identifying Taba, but there's a number of these people in the community to actually support this token. And I was like, this is just incredible. We're not paying this guy. He's not getting money reimbursed for doing all this stuff. You know, the other day we're talking about, you know, wrapping a car and sending it, you know, to Elon, you know, doing a tweet. He's like, well, you can have my, you know, you can have my car and do that. So, you know, Tesla, let's go and do that. So, you know, that's the sort of things that really just blew me away. And then I met up with Sir Verlin and all these amazing, beautiful girls around him, and, you know, crazy office overlooking the whole of Dubai. And, you know, here's a self-made guy as well, just like Taba, who's in the real world is just like, you know, made tons of money because he's good, he's awesome. But he was heart-centered. It wasn't a normal business guy. It was like, you know, well, every single thing that we do from our business over here, it goes into a charity and, you know, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, you know, so I quickly saw that these people were basically good people. And, you know, I could see that they're all just giving and giving and giving. And I just thought to myself, this is just incredible. And then there was Archan, the amazing artist, who I found out later introduced Taba to the project and, you know, helped Taba choose his apes. And just these layers just kept, you know, presenting themselves. And so, you know, I then published this report. It was 9 pages. It's in my channels. You know, at the time I waited a fair bit of time before I actually published it because I felt like the price was too high and it had to retreat. And it had come down from an all-time high of 15 cents. And I think we got into it. I made the call when it was like stumbling like a drunk guy around 0.375 cents. And within 48 hours, it'd done a 2x, and another 24 hours, it'd done a 3x. So it was great. You know, my community is awesome, and, you know, they have a lot of trust in what I do, even though it's, you know, do your own research always. But moving along, I wanted to sort of focus on some stuff that probably we haven't really spoken about before. And we touched on it a little bit, Patty and I, last AMA. We spoke about Web3 and what the Web3 really is. It's supposed to be about transparency. It's supposed to be about communities. It's supposed to be about a different way of running the world. You know, protecting your digital identity, not allowing others to monetize off your identity. You know, there's no such thing as free. So, you know, the new frontier is Web3. Here, I think the term was, coined that Tsuka is meme 3.0. And I think that's really awesome because what do we mean by that? So like today's terms, you have a token. To me, in like legacy businesses, your tokens are basically your shares. Your projects are the companies, your creators, whether it's founders, devs, or community, or a combination of all those things are the creators. The utility is a product or it's the community. Community equals the marketing, and DAOs equal the management. And as people that probably understand, we are going to be heading down that road later on with a, you know, as I understand it, with a DAO. So what we've got here is that Ryoshi gave us the substrate of this incredible perfect math via this smart contract and all these amazing breadcrumbs that he trickled in this path for everybody to discover in their own time at their own pace. And as you discover that, this narrative becomes so compelling. And, you know, you've got Dustin, who's an ex-journalist. And I love him in a way he's saying that, you know, he went on this mission of trying to understand and you know, down these breadcrumbs. And as a journalist, by definition, they've got to be investigative. They've got to get in there and do their homework. And you start convincing people like that. You convince, you know, I'm a pretty hard guy to convince about a lot of stuff. And you convince me, you know, Patty's been convinced. We're all being convinced. All the people in the community, we're all passionate believers. Why? Because when you go through the path and you walk that path yourself, you are so compelled that this is the way forward for Web3. This can rewrite the entire way that smart contracts are done for community. So eventually, if and when Tsuka is incredibly successful, and I have no doubt that it will be, it's just a matter of patience and time. When that moment comes, there are going to be copycats of this contract. There's going to be people trying to emulate exactly this. They're trying to do it already. But what will really happen is that people that have got legitimate projects will look at this and say, well, maybe we need to redo things. Maybe what Tsuka's done by creating this pro community, having no big holders of tokens, fully distributed, no taxes, fully renounced contract, etc., etc., etc. Maybe this is the way we need to redo Web3 when it comes to community-based tokens. So I'm going to let some other people, say some things, but I really just wanted to focus on that. And, once again, delighted to be here, delighted to share this stage with, legends, and thank you for having us.
Yeah, you're so welcome. And thank you for that presentation. I wanted to ask you, because I'm not very good at contract. Well, I don't know anything about contract, to be honest. But what is it in the contract that makes it stand out? You mentioned a few things, but those are kind of normal things that are in other contracts as well. It seemed to me that there was something special with this contract that you said you can discover bit by bit in your own pace. And can you mention some things, what you have discovered so far in the contract that makes it unique?
So Mary, Mary, I would assume that you might be talking about blockchain messages from the dev, from Ryoshi. Is that what you're thinking of?
No.
No, you think about the token contract itself?
Yeah, because Uncle Nat just said that. That's why I'm thinking about that.
Because he was saying it's breadcrumbs, and so the breadcrumbs are part of the Ryoshi story and the things on the blockchain. So yeah, that's I think what we are referring to.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So just to talk so you understand there is what they call the token contract. So the token contract itself, it controls the supply, it manages the balances of all holders, right? And this contract is renounced, so it means that the dev cannot change anything to the contract.
Yeah.
And the liquidity has been burned. The liquidity tokens have been burned, so it means the dev cannot withdraw liquidity at all, forever. So the liquidity is locked in Uniswap forever. So those are the basics, and it's an integral part of the tokenomics of Tsuka. They are, of course, managed by the token contract itself. And what Paddy said, what Cryptonaut said, is that there have been absolutely no allocations of any kind to any insider. So no dev tokens, no team tokens, no allocation to any partner of insider of any kind, promoter of any kind. And very important thing is that it's one of the tokens where in the way it was launched, you can see it was designed to look like a random token. There was absolutely no sign of any kind when it was launched that it was anything special, and this was key to avoid having people, botting the launch and acquiring absolutely insanely high amounts of tokens for nothing, and then keeping them, knowing they had something valuable. So pretty much what happened at launch, it's pretty much very early on. Nobody had any idea what that was. Everybody thought that it was some kind of a normal shitcoin, the kind that pumps a little bit for maybe 1 or 2 days and then goes to die. And that's how it was treated by most people who randomly bought big bags early on. They ended up dumping after a few X's, having absolutely no idea of what they held. And I can guarantee you that all these guys today, they don't mention Tsuka to them. They have PTSD. I guarantee you they have very, very severe cases of PTSD.
So this coin was like someone, it may or may not have been Ryoshi, the famous person who started SHIB, right? Made a contract and just
have we
threw it
lost
out
Mary?
there.
I just keep getting blanks.
Oh, can't you hear me?
I can hear you fine.
I could hear her. That was happening to me last spaces. I could only hear certain people.
Yeah, this has happened sometimes. Well,
maybe I can't hear anything she's saying, so I'll let you guys handle that.
Okay, so maybe I should leave and come back. That might help. All right, I'll be back soon, guys. Maurice, take over.
Maurice.
Am I having voice issues now?
I can hear
no, I can. Okay. I just had a phone call come through and I canceled it, but then my Twitter space like froze for a quick 10 seconds. So I wasn't sure what was going on for right there. But yeah, no, again, I appreciate you guys jumping into all of that. I will say, the one thing about the community here that it has always stood out to me is, the level of belief and the level of engagement. Now, although, when the team goes around and they tell the story of Tsuka and why they kind of jumped in, it may come across as financial advice. And I do want to obviously state, it isn't, but their convictions come from the fact that, again, they went through the process, they checked those boxes themselves. And, it's like everybody else here. I'm sure there's a project, there's something that, when you go through the research process, when you kind of do those checks and balances yourself and you come to the conclusion, you get quite passionate. And, I'm sure there's something here, an object, a sport, a team, a concept, a project, something that we all have that kind of that vibe for. So I will say, once you connect in the Tsuka community, for those of you who haven't been in there, if you jump in the Telegram, it's just a phenomenal atmosphere. And, not in what he does over there with some of his meditation sessions to really, again, help with that positivity, help with that calm demeanor. It's really, really cool to see. But again, everybody in that community, if you ask them about, why they're there or, what drew them to Tsuka, I think you can see the passion come across regardless of who you talk to. And that's the one thing that has overwhelmingly stood out, across my multiple touch points, with this awesome group and that awesome community over there is doesn't matter who it is, doesn't matter if it's, Patty, Nut, CP, who, I had a prior relationship with, or it's somebody who I maybe just met in the community for the first time, those people that you come across with have that belief and really do kind of push the good name of Tsuka forward. And, what we've seen throughout history is without the community, projects can't really accomplish it, what they hope to achieve. And, the fact that this one is so much driven from the community. And, there's also those mathematical aspects, which again, Patty hasn't really jumped into the math fully yet. I'm sure he'll jump into that later, but there's a few mathematical certainties that, he can touch on as well with regards to supply and more of the technical side, which is, spurs that belief. So again, it's always nice to see, because what do we, what's the number one feedback or pushback we get in DeFi is there's so much saturation, there's so many projects. How do you know which one? How do you get behind it? And like, how do you build up a rapport, right? So everybody who's coming to Tsuka on their end in that community has found that connection. And I think it's, not that common to see in the space, the amount of, true belief they have in, what they're trying to accomplish as a group of like-minded individuals. So again, that's the community side of things. Obviously, as they grow and build awareness, obviously the price of the token may be affected. But the reason why I connect so well with them is solely because of, that belief that I see and that passion, you can easily feel when you go into the community. So yeah, it's really cool.
Nice.
It's definitely not.
Can you hear me now, guys?
We got you back.
Cryptonut, can you hear me?
Yeah, I got you now.
Ah,
Yay!
great. All right. So I really love this aspect with the mysticism a little bit, and that's why I was gonna dig into that a little bit more. And this is a coin started by someone, maybe Ryoshi, maybe not, and just then he left. Or he left the keys to the community, or no one has the keys, right? No one can change anything on the contract, and it's just community driven 100%, and depends on people who buy and sell. That's all. That's how it should be, really.
Oh well. You're right. Sorry, buddy. I just say one or two things and let you talk. So yeah, you cannot really say that Ryoshi has left, because he's still with us. He's still communicating with us, and he clearly has he's following very closely everything that happens in Tsuka. We can tell because he's made many very clear references and allusions to recent events and even things that were very, very internal. In some of his recent blockchain messages, so we can tell he's there with us, and he's letting us know that he's there with us.
So
but
you're
he also
sure it is Ryoshi, Dustin?
listen. Me, I would say it's a solid 95% for me, and very frankly, I'm just leaving 5% just because I like to be rigorous and rational. Very like you know, like. But to go back to what Paddy was saying before, first, nobody has been able to disprove that Ryoshi launched Tsuka,
okay.
which is not in itself. You know, it's like you cannot really disprove a negative fact, right? So to be able to disprove that Ryoshi didn't launch Tsuka, you would need either to prove that someone else did, that he's not Ryoshi, or you would need Ryoshi himself to disclaim Tsuka, pretty much. That would be pretty much the only way you can really prove he didn't launch it. So that in itself, you know, it is what it is, but what I can tell for sure is that nobody, absolutely no one, came with an even half reasonable alternative explanation for what we've seen. Nobody even tried, as far as I know. It's like you've had a bunch of naysayers or whatever, but nobody even tries to explain how things could possibly be the way they are if it was not Ryoshi. Okay, so if you want, we can give you a few more details, but obviously the real path to understanding Tsuka goes, you know, you need to do some research. You need to come with the community, join the community, and talk to us, and you will. You know, it's a process. It takes time. But I've seen so many things that are that look to me to be statistically impossible, totally improbable. That I absolutely think it's Ryoshi.
Can you mention one or two things of those?
Well, you know, there is the biggest, the most impressive thing that that's been, you know, talked about so much, but it's important to say again. When you had Ryoshi deleted his accounts, no, not his account, but deleted all his posts, his Twitter posts, his Medium posts on the 30th of May 2021. Following some kind of a public spat with Shitoshi, some of the ship devs, you know. So I'm not, once again, I don't know exactly how much time we have. This is a long story, so I'm not going to delve into details right now. But 30th of May 2021, Ryoshi disappears from the internet. He does not talk. He doesn't do anything anymore. 1 year later, almost 1 year later, on the 26th of May 2022, the Tsuka token is launched. And 4 days later, Ryoshi changes his profile picture on Twitter to Milarepa. Milarepa being a very famous and influential Tibetan yogi, very important figure of Tibetan Buddhism. And what's very interesting is that, so Tsuka was launched 4 days before Ryoshi changed his profile picture. And the community discovered after a few days, and thanks to hints by the Ryoshi, by the Tsuka dev himself, that the Tsuka was actually a cipher for Tsengyon Heruka. So you take the TS, that are the two first names of his first name, the two first letters of his first name, sorry, and Uka, that's the last letters of his surname, and you get Tsuka. And Tsengyon Heruka is the biographer of Milarepa. So that's one, you know, that's one of the things that really dazzled us so much. And it was very, very impressive is that Tsuka also has 3 other meanings in Japanese. All those meanings are consistent and have deep alignment and meaning with crypto and with the Tsuka token itself, which is also so unlikely. You know, I can't even fathom how this could be a coincidence, very, very frankly. And, you know, same thing, you've got so many things. I couldn't possibly list them here, but you had, for example, the one of the Ryoshi's messages on chain, just before the Ryoshi research on Twitter changed his PFP and deleted some of his stuff. You had our Ryoshi say that, you know, he's communicating with us through the blockchain because those messages cannot be erased, right? He said that just before some deletion events in outside of the on-chain world, right? So, and he made so many brilliant points about you know the divide between the centralized world and the decentralized on-chain world. I mean, all of this is incredibly compelling in my opinion. So I could, you know, we shall do, I think in the near future, we'll probably need to do some spaces that are entirely dedicated to unpacking the lore and doing some kind of a chronology of all this stuff, because it's so fascinating, and many of us have so many things to say about that. But you know, obviously yeah, tonight we cannot spend all our time on this,
No.
but I hope I gave you a few hints why so many
Sure,
people
you
are convinced that Ryoshi is behind it. And you know, there's another simple thing you can look at, which is that you've had dozens. No, actually, it's not dozens. Yeah, probably dozens. Let's say you had dozens of prominent tokens launched with supposed links to Ryoshi. So they were trying very, very hard to make it look like they were launched by Ryoshi, using bot connections to the ship deployer and many, many other tricks. So it's not like Tsuka is the only is the only token that tried to took the mantle of Ryoshi. You had dozens of them, right? Including some very hyped, very well funded, with millions in marketing, very huge LBP launches, tons of influencers getting special allocations, and blah, blah, blah. Shield all over Twitter, right? All those supposed Ryoshi tokens, so we call them LARPs, you know, like, yeah, you know, they pretend to be Ryoshi, whatever. All of those are either dead or, you know, they don't really have a pulse right now. The only token that has been validated by the market as being linked to Ryoshi by the market, you know, I just look at what it is: community growth, price action, brand awareness. All this stuff points to Tsuka being the only token that the market, the collective wisdom of the market, has identified as being genuinely linked to Ryoshi. So you do with that what you will, but I find validation in this.
People just need to look at the numbers. If you compare Tsuka to any other token in the market that came out that said it's going to be the next Tsuka, there is absolutely no comparison between the two. Look at the price of Tsuka when it came out in May and then pumped all the way until August. That was the biggest pump the bear market has seen. For a token to be able to do something like that, it's not random. So for all these other tokens to come out and try to replicate and do what Tsuka did, they failed. They failed miserably because they all thought that this is just some regular token that just happened to have this cool idea and catch fire. But it's so much more than that. You know, take it from me. I've been in the market for 20 years. I've seen everything that could possibly happen. I've seen a million teams come out with these tokens with no idea of actually, or no plans to actually build a real legitimate project. Instead, it's nothing more than a money grab using another token that had previous success. So when Tsuka came out, everyone in the entire market was talking about it because of this astronomical move that it made. And so everybody's asking, how is this happening? Why is this pumping? And it's like, I'm kind of snickering to myself because I'm saying, holy crap, man, nobody really gets what's going on with this token. But meanwhile, I'm watching it. I'm going, this is literally the next SHIB. And it's proving itself right now. So during that time, when it pumped from sub 0.00004 to 15 cents, thousands of other tokens that came out were either saying, we are the next Tsuka, or, you know, RYOSHI'S behind this. And every single one of those, you know, just like Dustin's saying, they had these token allocations where, you know, they're basically, it was a scam from the beginning and everyone involved knew it. And all they were trying to do was sucker people in under the guise of this being the next RYOSHI. So, you know, you might have a group of 5 people that say, okay, guys, let's each give ourselves a ton of tokens. Let's spend a bunch of money on marketing so that once we start talking about this new token and we start saying it's the next Tsuka, everyone in the market thinks, oh, well, if Tsuka did that, then this other token could probably follow. Wrong. It's been proven. No other token was capable of doing what Tsuka did. So, you know, the analogy that I've used a couple times is, you know, baseball players, the biggest home run hitters, they hit the ball, you know, 500 feet, 450 feet. Some guys hit over 500 feet. So it's like, hypothetically speaking, what happens if you have this young up-and-comer that smashes the ball 600 feet? Nobody's ever done it before. But if it's like a 17, 18-year-old kid and he hits the ball that far, he could do it again. If he's proved that he's done it once, he could do it again. So what separates Tsuka from every single other one of these tokens is the organic beginning that Tsuka had, where no individual had a massive allocation of tokens that they just, bought early on. There is one guy, but he lucked out, and he hasn't sold a single token. And I'm talking about Joe Grower 420. He's one of the biggest holders. Since the day he bought, he has not sold a single one, which to me is, pretty impressive in itself, considering how insane this pump was. But the cool thing about him is I've had many conversations. He gets the situation on a macro scale. So it's like, I don't know how much his initial investment was, but I know he is up such a ridiculous amount that if he was to sell, he could go on a vacation for 5 years. However, he understands the magnitude of the mathematics and the macro scale. So he's going to sit and wait for this market cycle to play out. So I do believe by the end of this market cycle, he could literally turn his small investment into, $500 million. And it sounds crazy to say, but look what Tsuka did from May to August, and then compare every other token in the market that came out saying they're going to do what Tsuka did. Not one succeeded, and there's a reason. Because they're not Tsuka. Tsuka is a complete outlier, and it's mainly, in my opinion, because of the mathematical absolutes, which I really haven't mentioned. I won't get too far into it, but with token distributions, right? When a team comes out with a company or a token, the way that they do it is they say, okay, we're going to need money for operations moving forward. So how are we going to do that? How do we pay for that? Well, let's give ourselves a big chunk of these tokens so that after, a 1 year period, they become unlocked and can be sold into the market. So with Tsuka, 100% of those tokens have already been distributed. So everyone right now holding a token paid for it themselves. Whereas if you have a team and they say, this is another hypothetical, in 1 year, we have a 20% supply that may or may not become unlocked, and we will sell it into the market, okay? So if I was in that token, and if it was around month 11 or so, I would start thinking to myself, okay, what do I do here? Do I hang on to this token or do I sell it? Because I know in 1 month, there is a percentage of tokens that could possibly get dumped into the market. Now, the question is, are they going to dump any? Are they going to dump a little bit? Are they going to dump them all? I don't know. But I do know if the team said, hey, we're going to dump all 20% in like a week, it's going to drive the token to zero. So I would sell out of that token with the thought in mind of there's this margin or this variable for this, disastrous situation or potential disastrous situation. So after 20 years of being in that situation where I'm going, geez, man, this team said one thing, they did the complete opposite. They were telling us this is going to be done in 3 months, 6 months later, they canceled it. And it's like, I'm so sick of that human error element. So with Tsuka, I completely eliminated it. And what I mean by that is, every token is fully diluted. Everyone owns their own tokens. And it's like if anyone new wants to get into this, they have to buy tokens. So they have skin in the game. And another thing to look at, all the biggest holders, a lot of biggest holders, Verlin and Tubba, their dollar cost average is higher than the current price right now. So these guys have more skin in the game than anybody. They've assumed a much, much larger risk than all of us, yet they're underwater right now, but they don't care. I mean, Tubba has been a beast just going, exchanges. He's doing everything for the community. And again, it's with his own dollar. That's the difference between us and other tokens. We don't have to sell tokens into the market to pay the team, to pay members or anything like that. It's all on our own accord. And this giveaway, I don't know if it's been discussed yet, but it's absolutely absurd how massive this giveaway is. A single Bored Ape or the Mutant Ape has a 20 ETH floor. That's $30,000. If you won this giveaway, you could literally sell that ape that day and do whatever you want with the money. So it's like, take a look at the giveaway. It's worth it.
So who can take part in the giveaway? What do you have to do to be able to win this?
Anyone and everyone. If somebody wants to explain, in little a breakdown of what it entails, the giveaway.
You have to do something, right?
Sure, I'll do that. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So you have to do a few basic tasks like following the official Tsuka Twitter account, liking the announcement tweet, leaving a comment. But the main part of the giveaway is a quiz, so it's based on a quiz, and this quiz is designed to encourage people to explore the culture and to interact and engage with the community. So the advice we give to people who don't really know Tsuka, who just discovered Tsuka and who want to partake in the giveaway, is to watch the documentary, documentary part 1 that we have on YouTube. You're going to find the link in the giveaway itself. You will find it also in the various announcements, very easy to find. And also join the Telegram and take a look at the RYOSHI'S journal, which is a Telegram channel where we archived pretty much all of RYOSHI'S blockchain messages since the start. So it contains quite a few nuggets of wisdom, and it's a very interesting resource, to be honest. And don't be intimidated by the questions. Some questions are tricky. They're meant to be tricky. Just come in the Telegram, talk to us. You will find that community members will be very happy to help you, and you have absolutely nothing to fear. So yeah, it's an absolutely insane giveaway. The total amount of prizes is absolutely incredible. So you've got like a grand prize of 55,555 Tsuka. You've got 72 prizes of 5,555 Tsuka. You've got 4 blue chip NFTs. And the odds of winning, because it's a very high effort giveaway, you know, it's not meant to be one of those giveaways that gets botted easily and kind of pumps metrics superficially without actually bringing any new attention or any new holders, any new actual engaged community members. This is meant to filter, you know, the kind of people we want. So,
so how many did participate already? Do you have any numbers?
Well, you know, I don't know if we're really at liberty to divulge that kind of stuff, but we have, like, you know, we have, I would say, you know, close to 1,000 validated entries right now, which is, you know, considering the hurdles and the design of the giveaway, it's quite remarkable.
Good, yeah.
And we already, I mean, we're so happy with the results we got in terms of you know, new people coming in. We already have several high quality members that have become an integral part of the Sanka that came during this giveaway. So it's definitely exactly what we wanted. So yeah, considering it's a high effort giveaway, the odds of winning are also much higher than for a normal giveaway. So you actually have a very, very strong incentive to actually participate. So we invite everyone to just take the giveaway.
Maurice, I have to ask you, did you participate in the giveaway already? Did you solve the questions?
I am going to be towards the end of the, it closes on the 21st. I figured I'd get as much. Yeah, no, I figured I'd get as much Tsuka information as I can so I could, you know, properly complete the quiz. But yeah, perfect. I'm definitely going to be getting my entry in on either the 20th or the 21st before it closes. Because, yeah, I got my eye on the other side, land deed NFT. If I were to win one, that would be my prize of choice, because big fan of their ecosystem over there and their NFTs. So, yeah, I love some of the prizes that these guys have. But plus, there's, 72 prizes of 5,555 Tsuka. The grand prize, I think, of 55,000. There's the 4
And how
NFTs.
are you going to choose who wins? Is that like random entirely, or?
So it's not entirely random. You've got like you're gonna have several groups that are chosen for draws, and the people who got a better result at the quiz and who really went the extra mile, they're gonna have a higher chance of getting drawn. Okay. But it's mostly it's based on a draw. So you're gonna have like 2 or 3 different draws. We're gonna make groups of based on performance, and the odds of the higher performing group, which is, for example, people that got good results in the quiz, really fulfilled all requirements, and also, for example, submitted art and really interacted with the community in good ways. They're probably going to be in the group that has slightly higher odds. But yeah, it's based on a draw. Absolutely.
Okay, cool. So how is the future of Tsuka? How does it look? I mean, it's community driven, so you form groups here and there who wants to bring this forward, right? Who has their own tokens, who wants to bring the value up, of course, or how does it work? Who can participate? Who can do something? And
so listen, it's very simple. Right now, Tsuka is at the definitely at the community growth stage, so that we are focused on community growth. we grow the community and the brand. And this is totally in line with RYOSHI'S approach, by the way, which is what he did initially with SHIB in different circumstances. And I think he's entirely right. And I think this is much deeper and much more consequential than it sounds. You know, I mean, if you take a look at the crypto sector, and it's true of it's you know, very true of crypto, but it's also true of the tech sector at large. You have many problems with so many startups creating new products. They kind of, okay, they have a project, they have an idea, they build a product, and they kind of expect people to adopt, to discover them and come in droves and, you know, adopt the platform. It's the build it and they will come philosophy, right? Which, you know, we know it doesn't work. We've known for a while now. It's kind of a joke in Silicon Valley right now. And in crypto, it's even worse. I mean, crypto is an absolute, if you look at crypto in a bear market, you have the end of a bull or crypto in a bear market, it's an absolute graveyard of dead projects, of dead utility projects that never ever found product market fit, that never found their user, their audience, that never found any meaningful holder base with conviction.
Yeah, for sure.
So if you really look, you know, pretty much everyone else is doing it the other way. Oh, I've got the idea. I'm going to create a platform. It's going to do something. It's the utility. But now you guys are going to come, right?
But isn't it also
and they don't come.
About storytelling? And you have this story. You have this dragon. And is that going to be a story, a longer story coming out, or like a
absolutely,
or a movie, or
listen,
what are the plans?
I wouldn't be surprised at all if there was like if the Tsuka universe expanded into those kinds of directions. Nobody can tell, very frankly, but it would definitely make sense. But when it comes to what Tsuka is right now, you're perfectly right of saying it's storytelling, and that's RYOSHI'S design. RYOSHI is building a brand. It's based on storytelling. It is based on community growth right now, and so that's what we're aiming for right now. And for the foreseeable future, that's going to be our focus. We're in a bear market. We're not trying to spread ourselves too thin. We are already, the community is doing an absolutely amazing job. It's been able to create ripples like no other projects, no other new token, or I would say pretty much no other token at all has been able to do during this bear market. So when you were asking, how do you participate? How do you become a part of the Sangha? Well, you join the Sangha, you talk to us, you contribute. If you bring valuable contributions, you engage, you will be noticed, and you will have very quickly you will have opportunities to bring value to the project. So
you also have like lots of giveaways or smaller giveaways with the community, and maybe voice chats in your Telegram group and stuff like that to bring everyone together.
Absolutely. We sometimes we have like improvised voice chats. We had one not long ago which was absolutely amazing. I don't know if it was recorded, which was incredible. It's one of those things, like it just pops up out of nowhere and you get in there and it's absolute fire. Incredible, man.
Incredible, man. Who owns the Telegram groups, and who
so the Telegram group is a community property. So we actually have a group of admins that share admin and moderation powers on the chat. So RYOSHI, we actually had an incident pretty early on when the original admin of the original Tsuka Telegram tried to pretty much tank us. He tried to sell the social media channels for money. And he started to FUD us and banning people randomly. I mean, he pretty much, he went on a power trip and tried to exert absolute power over the Sangha, which is pretty much exactly the opposite of what we stand for. And what happened at that time is that RYOSHI stood with the community and he communicated very clearly. He endorsed the new community channels. So we created a new Telegram. We created various new channels, and RYOSHI very firmly stood with the community. So that's how the current Telegram is a community property pretty much, and it's endorsed by RYOSHI.
So what is the story then with the dragon and everything? Is there a story to tell that you can tell a little bit quickly, or is it still emerging? Or
Yeah, I would say it's still kind of emerging, but like many powerful quasi-mythological things, it's a pretty simple story. You've got Tsuka is still called a meme coin, okay? And I'm not claiming this name. I'm not disclaiming it either. It's complex, and when you actually understand what meme coins represent and what they stand for, and what they are slowly being understood as right now, including by major, very powerful people and institutions. Let's say it like that. You understand that it's a very special kind of asset, and it's got a very special kind of mission. So you take, for example, the most two famous, the two biggest meme coins by market cap and community holder numbers, brand awareness, global brand awareness, by far Doge and SHIB, and they are both based on a dog, and both based on a shibainu dog. So it's kind of understood that a meme has some kind of a mascot. And Tsuka, guess what? It's not a dog anymore. It's a dragon. And the message about what that dragon does is very, very clearly spelled out on the official page. And it's a message of peace, harmony, wisdom, and also of conquest and reign.
Mystery.
So absolutely, yeah.
An animal who doesn't exist anymore.
Hey, it never.
or is it still there somewhere? We don't know.
Well, dragons and reptiles and snakes have been a part of the human mythology. You go pretty much anywhere on the earth, including ancient civilizations or people who never communicated with each other, and you will find that reptiles, big snakes, dragons play a key role in pretty much every single human mythology. So it's a very, very important creature, not just for the the Orients, the Far East, but also for our mythologies and pre-Columbian mythologies. I mean, it's one of the most universally powerful creatures, mythological creatures. And for example, in China, it's a symbol of wisdom and longevity. So it's pretty much everywhere you look, it's a very, very powerful symbol.
But are you because right now there is no real utility, right? It's a meme coin, and it's a community-driven coin, and you're having fun, and it's going great, and you have this mystery about you with the Ryoshi, perhaps, or probably.
It's one way of seeing it, and I would say it's kind of fair. It's a fair way of.
But are you thinking about doing more utility in the future? Is that like a plan that Tsuka has?
Yes, we are. Yes, we are in many ways, right? But first, let me, if I can, I don't know. Do we still have time?
Yeah, we have as much time as we want, I think.
Amazing. So because you just put that on the table, and I'd like to talk about memes and memetics a little bit, if that's okay with you, right? Yeah. Because my whole point is that actually, what you call a meme coin right now, despite all the pretty much all the imagery and the that's associated with meme coins, I think it's actually something incredibly powerful that has built-in utility when it's actually well executed. So that's kind of the idea. If you take a look at memetics. What we call memetics is kind of the science, the study of memes, and the study memetics is pretty much the study of how cultural ideas spread and replicate, right? So it's something that was part, it was something of interest for historians, for philosophers, for sociologists for a long time, but it wasn't formulated as a field in itself for a while. But it kind of emerged as a serious field in the later part of the 20th century, and you had quite a few important philosophers and scholars that actually looked into memetics and actually specialized in memetics. One of the most famous of them is called René Girard, and he was a professor of philosophy at Stanford University, and he was an extremely influential figure in especially in America. He's French, but he almost unknown in France. He's very, very well known in American in US academia. And I don't know if you guys know Peter Thiel. He's the co-founder of PayPal. He's a giant VC and tech entrepreneur, very, very important guy, absolute visionary. He's doing some stuff right now. Nobody's talking about it, but for example, his company Palantir right now is absolutely revolutionizing AI they're pretty much the absolute world leader and the absolute pioneer in what we call edge AI. So they understood that AI needs to move at the edge of the network, pretty much, and they design solutions that are absolutely unique and that are going to be incredibly useful, and they're the only ones on this market. So expect to hear a lot more about Palantir in the coming years, by the way. So this guy is absolutely incredible. He's a libertarian, very, he's incredibly smart guy. I can only encourage you guys to watch some speeches and videos by him on YouTube. I mean, you can look at some of the speeches he gave in the mid 1990s or early 2000s. It's absolutely mind blowing. This guy blows my mind. He's absolutely incredible.
What's his name again?
Peter Thiel, Thiel.
Yeah, he's written a number of books. I've read I read a book of his. I gave it to a friend years ago. I think it's From Zero to One. I think that's
absolutely.
The title.
Yeah, he co-wrote that with Blake Masters. Yeah, he wrote From Zero to One.
Like the concept of monopolization and how, again, monopolies have, although scrutinized, have been successful over the years. He points to some of the different social platforms and stuff like that have really grown up.
Natural organic monopolies, not state-enforced monopolies, which is a very important distinction. And so this guy, Peter Thiel, he quotes René Girard as the most influential person in his life. So he actually cites Girard and memetics as the most powerful ideas that he's applied in his career. So that should give you a hint of how memetics is something it's not just like just intellectual masturbation or anything. It's actually very, very it has very serious real world consequences. And if you think about the emergence of meme culture in as we know it today, right? It was mostly born on 4chan. Everybody knows 4chan, I'm sure. So the idea of memes as we know them, they were born in 4chan within the last decade plus. And if you really look at what's been accomplished by the meme culture spawning from 4chan, it's pretty much the new counterculture. For the last 15 years, it is the absolute bastion of counterculture. People, literal anons posting on 4chan with just a keyboard and a computer have been able to generate things that have spread like absolute, like a prairie fire. And they have been able to, just with those incredibly small means, they've been able to counter narratives that had been spread through the media and the entire establishment, funded with billions and billions and billions of dollars of propaganda money. And some guy with a fucking GIF, sorry, I'm sorry for the profanity, with just a GIF on 4chan has been able to actually ridicule those ideas enforced and spread from the top through mainstream media and through the political apparatus. And so pretty much with zero, they've been able to counter narratives that had cost billions and billions over decades. So it gives you an idea that memetics is actually the realm of asymmetrical warfare. It is pretty much it gives us, like anons, simple guys, the power to fight back by using those mechanisms of the spread of cultural ideas. So you've had pretty much an anon with MS Pen has been defeating absolutely giant social engineering campaigns like that. So it's quite incredible when you think about it. And recently we had this whole phenomenon of meme stocks, right? We've heard about the AMC. What happened on the Wall Street Bets Reddit. So people discovered through meme stocks that they could use their collective power to do some absolutely incredible things, playing with assets. In that case, it was just playing with assets, and they could use collective power of just random anons, just a bunch of guys, banding together, uniting, and they've been able to defeat and ruin billion-dollar hedge funds of stock manipulators. So then again, an example of collective power, right? So obviously, a few years back, this seemed very abstract. You already had Dogecoin, but it was still a joke. It was still some kind of strange coin that kind of pumped a bit at the beginning of a crypto run and then dumped back into oblivion for months or years on end. It was not like that, something so special, you know.
Okay.
But since we've seen the emergence of the meme stocks, right? I think a lot of people, including a lot of economists, financial analysts, political operatives, have realized the power of memes, combining memes, memetics, and finance. So I think they started to take the measure of what's happening. So you've got a simple example. We know that the WEF, the World Economic Forum, Davos, right? The Great Reset. I'm sure all you guys are familiar with this now. You know, the WEF has approached SHIB recently. So it kind of shows that those people that
I
want
can't
to
say that I know exactly what you're talking about right now.
So you don't know about the World Economic Forum?
What, the
You don't know
World Economics Forum?
Forum, yeah, the WEF.
Okay.
You've heard about this, right? Davos, that's what they call Davos. You know,
Yeah.
Davos 2022, Davos 2023. It's a giant organization that where you know you've got billionaires, media moguls, political operatives convene every year to pretty much decide the fate of the world. And now they're doing it more and more openly, which is like they have a top-down agenda. It's kind of formulated in Davos and then implemented by pretty much every government and every political operative. I mean, recently, for a long time, it was some kind of conspiracy. You know, people who were talking about the WEF in less than very positive terms were looked at in a weird way. Now, I mean, it's now it's incredibly obvious what's happening. You had this guy. Schwab, who's the founder of the WEF, talk about, you know, the Great Reset and the Build Back Better agenda. I'm sure you've heard those words. And then magically, after he used those words, you had literally every single head of state of every important Western nation made a speech using the exact same terms. They all said, we're going to build back better. The French president did. Biden did. The German chancellor did. You know, pretty much every single head of state used the same words, and they showed everyone that they're on board and on the same agenda. So explain to me
how is this about Tsuka? Let's
well, I'm just explaining that this organization.
Yeah,
no,
okay.
I'm not. Really, I'm not. I mean, you asked for clarification about the WEF. I'm providing it, but it makes sense, you know. So the WEF, that's kind of a giant organization that kind of intervenes at the highest level of monetary politics and everything, has approached Shiba Inu recently. You know, they're actually tapping into them as becoming a potential member, or at least trying to onboard some members of the some high-ranking members of the Shiba Inu community, which means to me very clearly that those guys, and I repeat, the WEF, you've got pretty much every big head of state, billionaires and everything. Those guys have realized and understood that the funny dog Shiba Inu is actually something serious to. And that, you know, they need to take it seriously and try to co-opt it pretty much. So I think that's kind of what they're doing right now.
Can I just chime in real quick with one thing? So,
sure, buddy, go.
The WEF, the World Economic Forum, like, you think about what's the whole reason people got into crypto? What is the purpose of crypto? It's to get away from having a central power dictate what happens. As in, if you go to a bank and you deposit, you know, $100,000 into the bank, and then all of a sudden, 6 months later, there's some sort of economic meltdown, and you go to that bank and you go, hi, I would like to take my $100,000 out, please. And they go, sorry, we're having an issue right now. We don't have your money available. That's happening all around the world. So with crypto, it's literally the complete opposite of that. So the whole reason crypto came to be is to eliminate that central power. So you could send money from person to person, one place to the other place in the world, without having some, you know, central entity dictate or tell you whether or not you could do it or take a fee. So that's why Bitcoin came out. Bitcoin is a peer-to-peer network. It's the internet money, and it has completely changed the world. So when this whole shit went down with COVID in the beginning of 2020, my mom went to the bank and I said, take a bunch of money out because I'm afraid that there's going to be an economic meltdown. And so when she went to the bank, they only told her she could take out $5,000. So I started thinking to myself, what the hell? My mom put money in that bank so that she could take it out when she needs it. Now the bank is telling her she can't have that money. So crypto is all about decentralization and having the free ability to send money to people around the world without having this intervention of like a global, on a global scale. So now, this guy Klaus Schwab, he looks like an evil person from a James Bond movie. Like he's an evil villain. He's this guy talking about we're going to be eating insects in the future because we're not going to be eating meat. Like, I realize that's a little off topic, but that just shows you how out there this whole concept of this World Economic Forum is. And if you think about it, World Economic Forum, as in a central power, one entity, and then SHIB is talking about siding with literally the greatest, like, in my opinion, enemy in the world. And so RYOSHI'S vision was about decentralization. It was about having the ability to be a free, independent individual, allowing to send money through the blockchain without some third-party intervention. So now you have the World Economic Forum basically saying, we are going to side with SHIB. The whole idea when SHIB first came out was it's supposed to be a peer-to-peer network, a decentralized token. That is why RYOSHI left. They went the route of centralization. Centralization is the opposite of why I am in crypto. Everything I do is about decentralization. I want to be independent myself. I don't want to have to rely on anyone else in the world. So by buying Tsuka, I am literally capable of doing that. I could keep my own money in my ledger. Nobody will be able to take that money from me. I am free to buy and sell this token how I please. With SHIB, they went the route of centralization. So the whole reason RYOSHI left was because of that. So now, here's one thing that I just can't not make sense of. Everything about Tsuka, as far as numbers, statistics, and everything to that, field, lines up perfectly with the RYOSHI vision. And I've been asking people, go find me another token in the market with a more decentralized token distribution than Tsuka. I don't think anyone can. Nobody has yet. So is it a coincidence? Like, it's just too freaking weird that all these things happened at the end of May with RYOSHI deleting things and then the RYOSHI research popping up and then everything on paper right now with Tsuka. When you look at the numbers and the stats, it literally is the epitome of a token that is decentralized. So, you were mentioning something about like, what's the utility going to be in the future? The utility is the math. And people that don't grasp that are going to acknowledge it once the price starts to move. If you do not have good math behind your token distribution, you have nothing. Because, as Dustin was saying, every company in the world could say, I'm going to do this, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. But how often does it happen? So why do we keep relying on these people, these individuals? Why not go the opposite route and literally invest in the epitome of what decentralization is? And that is a project that doesn't have a team, that's run by a community. There's nothing more decentralized in this market. So to me, there is nothing more valuable than this token for that sole purpose of it being the most decentralized token that does not have a team dictating what happens. You cannot say to me, oh, we're a Web3 token, but we have a team and we're doing everything that we want to do and we're going to dictate how things happen. Nothing about that is Web3. Nothing about that is decentralized.
About the numbers, Paddy, if I may.
Yeah.
Because there is no restrictions at all, I think, on this contract. You can have as big bag or a small bag as you want. Is that correct, or is there a limit somehow?
Yeah. So
there are
here's
no
the
max
situation.
wallets, yeah.
You can have as many as you want, but now let's just look at the market on a grand scale. every market cycle is essentially 4 years, right? After the Bitcoin halving, usually it takes about 6 months for Bitcoin to pump, and then the rest of the market pumps behind it. It's been happening for 13 years historically. So we right now are nearing that 2-year mark. So we're getting like near that half point. So historically, what happens after that 2-year mark? Okay, all the money that came in, or, late in the market, everybody got flushed out. The market, everything drops 90%. It's the same thing every time. Everything goes down 90%. Then what happens is once the market bottoms, then people start going, oh, it's been a couple years, crypto, everything shit the bed. Now it's time to start putting money back in. So the situation with Tsuka that separates us from every other token in the market. You could have every other token that's saying they're going to do this, they're going to do this, they're going to do this. But from now until the time the market gets crazy, those other tokens are going to be selling copious amounts of tokens into the market. So that's going to be, competing with the incoming demand. So you might have 10 new people that come in and buy a token in one day, but then the next day, the team might say, hey, guys, we're going to have to pay you guys coming up. So how are we going to raise that money? We're going to dump tokens that we gave ourselves for free into the market. So while that's going on, you're spinning your wheels because it's like, people might be buying because you're saying our token's going to save the world. And people are going, hey, everybody, this token's going to save the world. So we're buying it. But what's happening is you're literally like you're slipping on ice because as you're buying and everyone's buying and this demand is coming in, there's this excess surplus being dumped on your head. So it's simple supply and demand. And that's the one thing I don't understand how people can't grasp. From this point forward with Tsuka, what negatives does it have? Nothing. There is literally nothing negative about it. The only negative thing is nothing may come out. And we just kind of sit and go sideways. But what's happening in the meantime? The price is going higher slowly because the market's starting to come back to life. People are starting to say, okay, the market's bottomed. So what's going to happen is because of this math, the mathematical absolutes, I've never in my life seen anything like it in 20 years. And I'm talking about stocks, I'm talking about crypto, ETFs, doesn't matter. Nothing has the same mathematical element that this token does. So as long as we just wait, people will slowly trickle in. And what's going to happen when they start trickling in, they start asking, hey, what's going on? All of a sudden, the community starts getting hyped up again. And then what drives markets? Hype, excitement. What is more exciting than meme coins? Nothing. Last market cycle proved that. SHIB made a 960,000x pump, 9.6 million %. People cannot forget that. It's something that everyone's going to remember. So I'm saying to myself, when the money starts coming back into the market, what is everybody going to be looking at? They're going to be looking for that next best meme coin. And it's like the first market cycle, it was Doge. Second market cycle, it was SHIB. I guarantee you it's not going to be Doge or SHIB because they're already bloated with multi-billion-dollar market caps. Meanwhile, Tsuka is literally the token that does everything that those two tokens does, but it's like the little baby that's trading at 1/100th the price, but it's better. It's got better math. It's got better everything. So we've already shown it has the catalyst to start driving the price, and that is the market hype. The emotions get contagious. When everybody starts getting hyped up, everyone else starts getting hyped up. So this is the thing that people don't understand. As people start to buy, the price goes higher. As the price goes higher, it starts breaking resistance. Once a macro resistance gets broken, then the price makes what's called a breakout. When that breakout's going to occur, which is going to be at 15 cents with Tsuka, the amount of dollar volume that's going to start pouring in is going to be astronomical because the math is going to allow it to continue to go higher, just like it did from May to August. That was not a fluke. Everyone was asking, how did it happen? How did it happen? Why can't any other token do it? Because no other token is like Tsuka. Doesn't have the same math, doesn't have the same decentralized concept, doesn't have the same idea with no team dumping tokens, dictating what happens. We are literally the epitome of a decentralized Web3 token, and it's like, people are sleeping on it just because they're associating it to a meme coin. And that is the stupidest thing ever because meme coins were the biggest market movers last market cycle. And from this point, memes have only grown in popularity, as Dustin's saying. So it's like, what are people thinking? History tends to repeat itself. If SHIB proved to be capable of doing a 960,000x pump, there's no reason Tsuka can't follow suit, because I do believe each market cycle is, well, it's statistically, it's a fact, each market cycle has been bigger than the last. I think we hit a $1 billion market cap in 2017, 3.5 billion in 2020. Yeah, so now, but if we go from 1 billion to to 9 billion, if we hit a $9 billion market cap, think of how much more money is going to be in the market. If all that money was going into meme coins last market cycle, where do you think it's going to go this time? But this time, what if there's 3 times more money? So if SHIB hit 50 billion last time, it could have hit 150 billion if the market cap of the entire market hit 9 trillion. So my guess is this next market cycle is going to be bigger than the last one. So whatever the tokens were that exploded last market cycle, same thing's going to happen, but it's going to be even bigger this time because there's more money coming in. But it's going to take time.
We all hope.
Can I just interject there with something, guys? Well, Patty's done that awesome role there. I mean, it's just epic content. But just to like really simplify things here, holders, our holder count wallets right now is 8,711. At least it was a few hours ago. Get to 100,000 holders, and we have a price over $2. $2.26 to be precise, a market cap of 2.26 billion. That's 5% of SHIB's peak market cap.
What is it now? What is the market cap now?
Get to a SHIB holder count now.
It's about 1/100th.
Yes, like
it's a fraction of a fraction.
Absolutely. Now, and once again, let's think about this. Utility value. If something is used by people, it has value. More people use equals higher value and liquidity. Guess what's happening, guys? This is going to happen, and this will explode, and people will go, oh, duh, what happened? Oh, what's this Tsuka? And we've been banging on about it for so long. It's like, if you know about Tsuka, you are blessed. You are honestly blessed.
Sit back and wait, because what you're saying right now is the same thing I was saying about SHIB. When I was talking about SHIB in February, I'm going, guys, I think I found the next Doge. And everybody's like, no, it's not the next Doge. For months, I was like, guys, everybody, please, look. Nobody looked, and then finally, slowly, it caught on. And then that one day, when Elon made that tweet saying, I want a Shiba Inu, I'm going, ka-ching! Everything played out the way I anticipated it. So with Tsuka, it's just a matter of waiting, because like, Crypto Nut says, and a lot of the other people in this token right now, they get it. They get on a grand scale. So as long as we get one person per week like that, they're going to have the ability to tell their friends, and it's going to spread like wildfire. Because, as you're saying, it's about value and demand. If everyone in the market is talking about one particular thing, that's what's going to give it value. It's just like there's so many people that don't know what they're doing, and they trade on emotion. So if they see everyone talking about this token, they blindly buy it. And it's like, it sucks. I hate it, because for years, I only invested in legitimate companies, because that was what I felt was like the moral thing to do. But after the last couple of years of doing that and watching teams screw me over by diluting and dumping, I said, you know what? Screw this. I'm going a different route. And that's exactly what it sounds like. The other people that, as far as I could tell, have a very good understanding of Tsuka are doing as well. So that tells me I'm doing the right thing, and them confirming is the reassurance I need to know this is just going to be a matter of time. Like, when I bought it in July 3rd, it was a half a penny, and I said, guys, this could be $50. And then, of course, I get people like, you idiot. And I'm saying, just wait. So from a half a penny to $50, it's a 1,000x pump. And it's like, wait, it's not going to come tomorrow, but toward the end of this market cycle, I'm thinking that this is the token that's capable of pumping from $10 to $100 in a week at the end of the market cycle. So it's like, is it worth waiting 2 years for that? I would say so, because if you're holding from 6 cents to, $1, and then it goes from $1 to $10 in a week. That last week, that $9 gain is a lot more than it was from 6 cents to $1. So it's like patience is going to pay.
Your passion is amazing. I'm following your passion.
It's
amazing.
unbelievable. Like in 20 years of my investing, I've never been more confident. Yes.
Can I please ask another question? I'm trying to get a word in here. It's kind of impossible, but it's fun. But I wanted to ask Uncle actually more about this Buddhist side and more about this mysticism, because now we have hyped the coin and we're giving almost financial advice, which we shouldn't. So can we please go back to also see what's the core or the purpose more on that level? So
well, I think there's yeah.
Aspect.
Well, okay, so basically, if you go back to RYOSHI'S references, one of the big things that initially just really blew me away was the reference to Milarepa and the story of how a guy that was, for those that don't know, that was so sorry, my dog's going berserk here, so I just had to throw something at it. Hey, stop it. Sorry. So basically, the story of a guy that was completely evil, essentially, which was the basis of him taking up, like when he realized that he was like such a nasty guy, his father had died, and the village had started spending all of his, their money and their wealth, stealing it from them, essentially. So he wanted to go and learn sorcery and basically, learn sorcery to get his own back and kill all these people. And he did. He was known as the murderer of the village. And there was a point in his life where he realized that this ain't going to fly, and I've got to straighten myself up. So he basically took up Tibetan Buddhism. He learned off, Milarepa, one of the most famous, teachers, gurus, whatever you want to call it. And, he decided that his life was now going to become good. And now it's folklore. It's like, it's the pillow or the substrate of Tibetan Buddhism teachings and a lot of other Buddhist teachings around the world, the story of Milarepa. So the references that Ryoshi made to Milarepa and some of the quotes are actually direct quotes or translations of the quotes that were made. And I think that whole reference is like it's all resonated through the whole community, and it's really amazing because what's happened is I actually practice a form of Japanese Buddhism, which is slightly different to the Tibetan Buddhism. But what I see in the community is people through Ryoshi making these references and the community catching on. There's been a discovery of Buddhist like sayings and philosophies, which is at a different level. I mean, where can you go into a crypto project and actually start learning about amazing stories that resonate on every level of a human being? And, the underlying message, of course, is to do good. And I believe that's what everybody's trying to ultimately do in the community. Ryoshi, to me, is a mastermind. He's the level of a Satoshi, where he's seen a way that he can create a contract which can basically be perfect money and could be used by any project. I mean, this Tsuka, for example, could be incorporated into any blockchain project, into any business as perfect money. So I'm getting a little bit off topic, but it's
I think it's interesting because on the web page there is also these sayings, and it's by Uruluki. Who is that then?
On the web page.
Uruluki Masanori is a name, that was it's kind of a it's Uruluki is the name of a dragon in Tolkien, right? So the writer of the Lord of the Rings, and Masanori is a famous Japanese name that's tied to historical figures and important historical figures. So it's kind of it's a quote that includes clues by Ryoshi, and coincidentally, we found other clues in some of the contents that were posted by Ryoshi Research on Twitter that also underline connections with some Tolkien, some parts of Tolkien works and Tolkien lore, including a novel called Roverandom. But it's a little bit cryptic, but if you guys really want to look into it, you will find some amazing stuff. I mean, there is so many nuggets, so much hidden stuff in there. It's absolutely amazing. So, and if you look, Uruloki Masonori is also the name of the account that pretty much created the Tsuka entry on CoinMarketCap. So we kind of assume that the Uruloki Masonori character, it's just Ryoshi on CoinMarketCap. At least that's how I see it, you know. So and all my, you know, I'm really sorry, Mary. You know, you're trying to handle those guys who never stop talking. It must be very hard. Are you okay if I just take like 1 or 2 minutes just to finish on my reasoning? You know, I was talking about memetics, and I just like to conclude and kind of show where I was going. You know, kind of what I was trying to underline.
You're one of
okay
the guys, Dustin, but go ahead.
I know, I'm the worst of all. I mean, with Paddy, actually, we kind of have a contest right now. So.
I was just like, you're like, oh, these guys, they talk so much, but can I talk for 10 more minutes real quick, please?
That's how we roll.
Hello, guys.
Dustin, you're a dragon.
Maurice has been in here all evening, only listening. Maybe you want to have a comment or say
No,
something.
I'm just enjoying it. I mean, I know these guys are super passionate, and I just love listening to them talk about the project and the community and kind of why they got involved. I mean, you know, I think with any community that's outlasted some of these major events in the market, you know, you do need that kind of underlying belief. So, you know, I don't think they spread that message around in terms of financial advice, but it's definitely one that catches your eyes, and you definitely want to join the community. And I think it's one of those things where once you're a little bit more active and you're in there, you see the positivity. It's like, you know, why people enjoy really hanging out in your TG and your chat over there at Miners, and, you know, why we have a good community over at Caesars as well. It's, you know, once they find something they're comfortable with and they really kind of enjoy and believe in, you know, they're very passionate about just spreading that message around. So, yeah, I could listen to these guys talk about Tsuka and what they're building up over there, and why they've taken an interest to it, because some of those more macroeconomic you know, theories you never hear that applied to, you know, a meme coin or a community driven project. So I do like the bigger market kind of coverage that they go about here.
Absolutely.
Right,
yeah. It's
right,
when
we 2 minutes. No.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Mary. I'm sorry about the you know, the disturbance, but yeah. So as you saw, you know, the WEF approach SHIB, showing interest, showing that they understand that there is definitely something worth of concern for big agenda people in simple meme coin. Obviously, the WEF is not interested in the mobile game. They're not interested in the pizza, in the Shiba Inu branded burgers. You know, they're interested about Shiba Inu, the asset, right? The coin, which is what Tsuka is right now. It's a coin, right? So, you know, the WEF is kind of at the fourth. Yeah, absolutely. Yes, you're right, Paddy. You're right, man. It's a meme token. Yeah. Technically, it is. And the WF is kind of at the forefront of the overall CBDC agenda. You know, the Great Reset and CBDC are pretty much indistinguishable. So for me, it makes perfect sense that they are looking at SHIB and they're trying to kind of control or co-opt SHIB, kind of neutralize it in some way. And you have another example that's kind of interesting. You've got Christine Lagarde, who's the head of the ECB, the European Central Bank. Quite a few months ago, she made a speech in which she said something absolutely incredible. I read this, I was like flabbergasted. She said there needs to be a place for central bank currencies in the future, right? Which means that she admits that digital assets and digital currencies are in direct competition with the ECB money, with the euro, with the dollar, right? So those guys, from Christine Lagarde herself, they are acknowledging that tokens are competing with their centralized central bank money. And guess what? You know, what do you think is the real kind of asset that competes with the ECB of the euro, or at least that they see as potentially competing in the future? Do you think it's a token like Aave, for example, a governance token for a lending protocol? Or do you think it's maybe ETH, ETH now is, you know, the gas token and the staking token of the Ethereum network.
It's too expensive.
Yeah, but absolutely. But you know, you could argue that, you know, we could always use fractions of those, blah blah. So kind of the unit price of them is not as big of an argument as it could seem from the outside. You can always subdivide
just
them.
Quick, what's
right?
the tokenomics of Tsuka then? Is it buy and sell tax?
There is absolutely zero gimmick in Tsuka. No gimmick at all. Okay. No buy and sell tax. Cool. No inflation of any kind. No staking. No staking or lock gimmick of any kind. There is absolutely no device, no scheme designed to turn this into a game.
Sell amongst people.
The price action is determined by supply and demand, which means buy and sell. But it's only the price action. That's the token is not about buying and selling. Buying and selling is how the price is discovered. Everything else is unrelated to buying or selling. Okay, so obviously you can buy, you can sell. There is no tax. There is nothing that's designed to turn this into a game where the smartest or the most the people who really understand how it works have an edge over the ignorant, right? Nothing like that. Everybody's on equal ground. Everybody has had the same chance and has the same chance today to participate and to acquire the token. So it's a, you know, so I was taking the example of ETH to say, for example, ETH now, it's the dynamics of the ETH price are determined by many factors. It's determined by the demand for block space on Ethereum, for example. That's kind of the gas element of it. It's going to be determined by how many tokens are locked in validators of the proof of stake chain. So you know, it's going to have a lot of other drivers that are not tied to its monetary aspect. So to just sum it up, you know, you've got people like René Girard and Peter Thiel that acknowledge the power of memetics. You've had demonstrations that people collectively can fight huge financial institutions with meme stocks. You have the WEF paying attention to meme coins. You have Christine Lagarde acknowledging that crypto is competing with pretty much you know, like national currencies and block currencies. So it should tell you something that, you know, when you understand those things, when you take the time to think about them and you operate from that place of understanding, you will know that something being a meme coin in itself does not disqualify it, right? I think it was one of the brilliant things that Elon Musk did recently. Was actually acknowledging that Dogecoin, he chose Dogecoin, you know, for obvious reasons, but acknowledging that a meme coin is the best kind of asset to be actually people's money, decentralized money, community money. There is simply no other kind of asset that has utility in the conventional sense that actually qualifies for this. So for us and for me, for many of us, the ultimate utility is already built in Tsuka. And it's the kind of utility that with growth, with holder growth, with market cap and liquidity growth, that enables literally any kind of utility. We think that utility and utilities will spring from the community. And if you look at Shiba, for example, Shibainu, when it was launched, it was just a dumb token. It didn't do anything. And they started adding utility. They started developing an ecosystem around it. So I'm not a big fan, and many of us are not big fans of the way this ecosystem has been developed, but it shows that starting with just a meme coin, starting from literally zero, through the power of awareness, brand awareness, community growth, people just desiring to be part of this group of people who hold these assets, it can enable the creation of an entire chain, Shibarium, that's going to launch, that's supposed to launch sometime this year, right? So it shows you that it's absolutely not disqualifying that you start as a meme coin and that you start community first. It's actually pretty much the only way you could possibly hope to pull that kind of stunt in crypto, and especially in the bear market.
So let me ask you something, Dustin. Do you think Satoshi and Ryoshi are the same person or related or know each other?
So I don't know, but I think not. I would think not. But that being said, I would say Ryoshi is probably the most legitimate heir to Satoshi that we've had in crypto, and that includes Vitalik Buterin. I think Ryoshi is a more fitting heir to Satoshi than Vitalik himself is. And yeah, so I think it's quite brilliant.
Well,
and
Vitalik
Satoshi
is doxed, so we know who he is. It's not
he is absolutely, but he's such a great figure. You know, he's like the number 2 most famous figure of all crypto, right? So And Ryoshi doesn't get that level of recognition quite yet. But one of the great things that Ryoshi did is by, disappearing behind everyone else, behind the collective. He said very clearly, I'm nothing special. I'm nobody special. I'm just a guy with a keyboard. Everybody's Ryoshi. We are all Ryoshi. If you work in the spirit of decentralization, you deserve to call yourself Ryoshi. Okay, so that's pretty much that's a very powerful message. And I haven't seen anyone else do that. It's quite the opposite of what has been done by so many projects centered around a guy that was like trying to accrue all attention. It's pretty much the opposite of what those guys did. And I think it's so much more elegant and powerful.
Okay, here's another question for you guys, all of you, one at a time. So what do you put on your pizzas? Do you like pineapple, for instance?
Pineapple, yeah. I'm one of those guys that like pineapple. I was brought up in Australia. And
I gotta delete you now.
Patty, never trust an Australian. That's all I'll say.
I'm a New Yorker, man. I'm from New York, man. Yeah, dude. I'm born and raised New Yorker. So like, pizza's my life, man. Like, I eat it every day. But pineapple.
So Patty, what about you? Do you do pineapple on pizza or not?
No, I can't. Nope, no Hawaiian for me. I like yeah, but that's like a Hawaiian. They call it a Hawaiian pizza. Pineapple and ham. No, I like plain cheese, but I also like sausage and onion. I'm not a big pepperoni fan, but thin crust.
Never come on your pizza. Ever, never, ever.
Pineapple.
Really?
Pineapple, anchovies. Yeah, I'm not like fish, nothing like that. Yeah. I mean, just typical. I like mushrooms. I'm simple.
Okay. What about you, Dustin? Do you put pineapple on your pizza?
Yeah, I do indulge in Hawaiian pizzas from time to time, but I must say,
right?
No, I'm not. I'm Western European, but I live in Asia, in Southeast Asia.
I thought your accent was German. Sorry.
Yeah, it changes a lot, so from day to day almost. It's very fluid, and yeah, I've got a few Italian friends, and
they would kill you.
The horror on their face at the very mention of a pineapple on a pizza. I mean, it's absolutely incredible. It's just insane.
So I get one. Uncle, you're my friend. We can have a pizza together.
It's all good. Yeah, I'm in Europe now, so we can do that.
No worries. No, I just like to put that question because it is like a crypto question, to be honest. The people I think, wasn't it Satoshi or someone who talked about that a long time ago? With the pineapple on the pizza. I don't know. It's a story anyway. So guys, we have been here 2 hours now.
I was going to say, I do have to go and host an AMA at 7 p.m. UTC, so in about 10 minutes. But again, before we wrap up, I do want to, especially for, CP and everybody else listening from the community, I do want to replug the giveaway because it wraps up on Saturday, January 21st. So again, I just want you guys to walk everybody through, how they can get involved. Again, there's no requirements in terms of needing to hold, Tsuka tokens. However, they do ask you just complete the tasks outlined and their tweets, or you can check out the rules listed on their enterthedragonslayer.com website. So again, I'll let the team just replug that one final time, but I do want to make sure we kind of have the attention focused on the giveaway as we close out, just with that a few days away from ending out.
Absolutely. You've got a few more days. It ends on the 21st. And so you've got the main giveaway. Very simple. Go to the pinned post on the official Tsuka Twitter account, and you find all the instructions for the giveaway are in there. And as I told you, remember, if you have any question whatsoever, go to the Telegram. People will help you. I promise you. And we also have like a special mini giveaway for this AMA. So if you are listening to this AMA right now and you'd like to participate in the giveaway, you have a chance to win an extra prize besides the main giveaway prizes. Obviously, you've got 4 prizes of 555 Tsuka will be given to listeners of this AMA, and to qualify, you only need to post a comment under the main pinned tweet the main pinned giveaway tweet, saying, I come from the miners giveaway, from the crypto miners giveaway. Very simple. And this way, we're gonna draw 4 of you, and 4 of you are gonna get 555
side,
extra
Dustin?
Tsuka.
Where, on your side or on miner side?
It comes from us, right? So it's a donation from one of our generous community members, and we
Very
will.
nice.
They are reserved for people who listen to this AMA and enter the giveaway. 4 of them will win 555 Tsuka, and they just need to leave a comment saying they come from this giveaway. This way, we earmark those tokens for them. Absolutely, on the giveaway tweet, on the main pinned giveaway tweet on the Tsuka official account, Twitter.
Okay. Yeah, it should be the very top tweet that you see when you go and open up the Tsuka Twitter. It should be pinned at the top there. First part outlines the prizes, and the second part of the thread just kind of details the rules a little bit more. Yeah, definitely. I'm gonna, we have to chat on maybe Friday. We'll try and figure out that quiz together. Get our.
We want to see you in the. We want to see you in the chat, Mary. Come soon. Come soon.
I will come. Yeah, I will come.
I promise you, we won't bite.
Voice chats, though. We have to open voice chats then.
We're gonna have a voice chat especially for you next time you come. Okay. Come in the giveaway, and we're gonna have one.
Guys. Super fun being here. You guys have been awesome. Just absolutely amazing, and super fun and super informative, and fantastic seeing the community here as well.
Thank you, Uncle. And it was really fun, and the passion you have, guys, for this project is really outstanding, amazing. Nothing like what I've seen. I have seen similar, maybe sometimes, but not very often. And you are all 3 have this passion. So yeah, I will come and have a look at the Telegram group for sure, and I hope everyone in here listening will go and join the Telegram group too, so we can help increase the numbers. That's fun. And I hope everyone will win, although only 4 can win. And I think we are also having a giveaway in here, Alpha, right? And Alpha is gonna select some people who were listening the whole time, I think.
Perfect. Well, that's awesome. So again, you have those 4 chances to win some Tsuka tokens just for, throwing a comment about the crypto miners Twitter space today that everyone had with Tsuka. So definitely get your entries in there, fairly hands off, especially if you stuck through to the end. Might as well get, a little bit of a bag potentially in a cool project. And then in terms of the big giveaway, you have until the 21st to get that entered in. As always, Mary, Alpha, Wolverine, I just wanted to say big thank you to everybody here at Crypto Miners, from the community and the team, to extending this, this forum to myself, and obviously to the team here at Tsuka. I've had a chance now to co-host them a few times, and it's really just, again, every time we come on, the energy, the passion, the excitement is always there. Like you said, it's sometimes, hosting spaces, hosting these AMAs, if it's with the same team or the same concept, can become a little bit dry, but not with these guys. They always have the energy. They always have the excitement.
Right?
Yeah, honestly, like I've hosted them for 2 hours, I think 4 times now. So I've gotten a good dose of Tsuka, and, I'm going to get a little bit more come Thursday. So I can't wait. But again, I just want to say big thank you to everyone at Crypto Miners. I always love coming in this community. You guys are absolutely fantastic. Great engagement. Congratulations to those who may end up winning through this AMA. And I'm excited to be back here. I know we have one planned, I believe, for next Tuesday as well. We'll be able to put out a little bit more on that as it becomes available. But I can't wait. Anytime I get to come in here, you guys are terrific.
Yeah, and you Tsuka people who joined this community for the first time, I hope you will stick around and come back at some other events we have, because we have I think every day now, coming 2 weeks.
Yeah, and you get some pretty incredible projects too. Like you have Phantom coming up. You just did one with Solana last week. Poly, you did Polkadot about 3 weeks ago. We co-hosted with Decentraland a little while ago as well, which was really fun. We did Rune, which has again been around since 2017. So yeah, it's really, really cool. just to have a chance to always come by here. You guys have a terrific community. Alpha, is phenomenal behind the scenes at all the coordination, getting those banners made and everything. So always a pleasure to work with you. I mean, obviously yourself, Mary, you're one of my favorites. We've known each other since, even just being a community member over at Caesars a year ago. And again, Patty, Uncle Nut, and Dustin, one final time today. I'll see you guys on Thursday, but one final time today, I wanted to say big thank you guys. As always, you rock the mic. Tsuka is one of my favorites to get to listen to.
And now you can
Thanks,
all head
brother.
over and follow Maurice over to his space. He's just called to listen to.
I'm actually going to host for Kobe today. He's got one with his partner token coming on, so I'm just going to go in with him. I only host for him sometimes. Him and I know each other from high school, so if he ever needs a host, I just pop in and help out.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I know you have to go maybe now before we really stop, because I'm going to give the floor. I'm a little bit scared, but I will just clock you now, guys. You have 1 minute each to have a closing statement. And also remember, everyone, to be able to win, you have to follow me. I mean follow Crypto Miners and me and Caesars and everyone in here. Follow each other, guys. Let's blow up our accounts. That's fun. Anyway, 1 minute each. Closing statement from the dragons, the fireballs, the fire. Yeah.
All right. All
the dragon breather or fire breathers.
All I'm going to say is that you guys are amazing, Mary and Morris. You just always do an amazing job. Patty, it's always fire. Dustin, fire. I mean, it's super, and I hopefully the energy transgressed and was picked up by the community. It's epic. And all I want to say is, let's all meet up for pizza in each of our hometowns, and pizza with pineapple or pizza without. We do a test. All right, guys. Thanks a lot. I'm tuning out.
Thank you so much, Mary and Maurice. You're amazing hosts, and thank you so much to my co-speakers. Brilliant as always, absolutely awesome. And you guys, just come and check the community. If you think that's just like 3 or 4 of us who are that passionate, you're in for something. You've got like hundreds and hundreds of active people who are incredibly passionate, and we also have other very talented speakers who couldn't come tonight. But yeah, I mean, it's really something. So absolutely delighted to have had this AMA with you, and guys, take the giveaway. Absolutely do come and talk to us. We're waiting for you.
Great. Not sure what happened with Paddy, but now you're back, Paddy.
I dropped off somehow by mistake. I don't know what happened. It's like I just disappeared.
I saw you. I grabbed you. You're up again.
All right. I wanted to say thank you for having me on, and I apologize for talking so much, but you could tell it's passion. I don't give people financial advice. I try to paint a picture for people to understand what they're looking at, because the expression goes, teach a man to fish, or give a man a fish and you feed him for the day. Teach a man to fish and you feed him for a lifetime. And it's like, that's the route that I've always tried to go with everything I do in life, because it's like everyone in the market can just scream out, hey, this token's awesome, great, buy it, and it's like, why? So I'll challenge people on that, and I'll say, what about it? What makes a difference, between other tokens? And it's like, if they don't have an answer, then that tells me something. So if I'm able to talk to somebody about a token and they're so passionate about it and they can speak about it with such conviction, like that, as I say, emotions are contagious. So that element in itself is utility. So when people come into the Telegram and they see everyone in this community so pumped and fired up, it just invigorates them, and it makes them more, prone to want to participate in what we've got going on. And, it's the momentum that just keeps people coming in, and holders just keep going up. And even though the market's terrible right now, we're still pushing and we're going in the right direction. So it's only going to be a matter of time before that catalyst comes in, where a massive influencer talks about it, or an exchange listing on a tier 1 exchange, and then all of a sudden, like that, everything's going to change, and everyone that was fading it is going to go, wow, what was this?
Paddy, do you think we will see Elon Musk buy a dragon?
It might be possible. I hear he has a couple dragon eggs, so I'll give him a call tonight, and I'll ask him. Maybe I'll tell him to put a little tweet out.
I have one more question, an experiment for you guys. I've never done this before, so I want one word, only one word from each of you three. What is it that makes you so passionate about this project?
Math.
Is
It's
that a
so
word?
weird, but it's just a different way of looking at an investment, removing the human error element.
One word, Patty.
No, that's it. Math. That was the word. I was just explaining myself.
Oh, math. I thought you
Yes,
said
math.
math.
M-A-T-H. Math.
Okay.
Math
Okay,
does
okay,
not
yeah, okay.
lie. Math doesn't cheat.
All
Math
right.
doesn't change.
Uncle, what's your word?
Passion. Passion. That's it. Passion.
Passion gives passion. Okay,
Yeah.
Dustin.
Sanka, which is synonymous to community. So it's going to be Sanka for me.
Okay, very good. Thank you so much, guys, for coming. And thank you, Maurice, for being here with me today up on stage. And yeah, it was a pleasure hosting you guys. Time really flew or
Yeah,
fly.
it was a
Or...
blast. And I like that little one word thing you did there at the end. That was neat. So great words that the three gentlemen gave out. And, if I had to give one, it'd be fun to describe my experience with Tsuka. So can't wait to
Great.
have more of it on Thursday.
Yeah, sorry for not asking you, Maurice. You're also very passionate always when you host. So yeah, it's good.
Of course, but I got to jump out. I got a team waiting there. So again, I wanted to hang out for the end of this one, but it's always a pleasure. I'll see you guys on Thursday, and we'll start. I'll send you those tweets once I get them out today. Okay, boys?
Bye, everyone. And check if you won on our Telegram.